Well, the teaser trailer for the new MLP movie came out, which tells us nothing. Which is fine because I like to be surprised. However, I'm a wee bit concerned. You see, no matter how good, no matter how bad, no matter how popular a cartoon series is, they tend not to do all that well in theaters. It's a shame, really. We've had some excellent movie extensions of cartoon series. We've also had some really bad ones. The consensus is they don't do all that well all around. So there is a concern about the MLP movie not doing that well, especially since it's catering to kind of a niche audience. After all, the TV series doesn't do that well either. Honestly, the series survives on toy sales. But we are not here to talk about the MLP movie. We are here to talk about those theatrical cash grabs and those cartoon continuations. These are the top 10 best and worst performing movies based off of an existing cartoon series. Now you may have noticed I said performing. That's right, I'm not ranking them on if the movie was good or not, and I am going to critique the movie to help understand why it is in the place that it is. But no, these are only going to be ranked based purely on profit. However, I do have to lay down some ground rules. The movies have to be a continuation of a cartoon on TV, though the 2006 TMNT movie doesn't count. They can be a continuation of a special or miniseries, though. The movies must have been in theaters. The Disney cheap calls, the DC straight-to-DVD movies, they don't count. Neither do made-for-TV movies. No anime. I'd be here all day talking about Pokemon. They must be a cartoon. I shouldn't have to say that, but the Garfield movies exist. The movies have to have been released during the TV series run, or 10 years after the series was canceled. So no Smurfs or Mr. Peabody or Sherman. The movie must not have come out before the TV series. Again, no Smurfs. Also no Jimmy Neutron or Kung Fu Panda. And the movies must have been in at least 900 theaters. I know that's oddly specific, but there's a couple movies on here that I really want to talk about. So let's get started. The number 10 worst performing movie based off of an existing cartoon series. I'm going to have to condense that somehow. And the number 10 worst is the Powerpuff Girls movie. This was the movie that made me realize that movies that were an extension of a cartoon series don't do that well in movie theaters. You see, this came out a week after the Hey Arnold movie, which made $5,706,332 during its opening weekend, ranking the movie number 6 for the weekend. The Powerpuff Girls movie did worse, ranking them number 9 on opening weekend, and we'll get to the Hey Arnold movie later. Now, Cartoon Network had a marketing blitz for the Powerpuff Girls movie. Not only on Cartoon Network, but on Kids WB as well. Kids WB premiered new episodes of Powerpuff Girls to promote the movie. They also showed reruns on their afternoon lineup, which was the start of Kids WB's version of Toonami. The Powerpuff Girls were all over the place. So, what went wrong? Well, maybe part of the problem was it did come out around the same time as the Hey Arnold movie. Not only that, but also at the same time as Lilo and Stitch and Scooby-Doo. I've said it before, too many family films coming out at the same time can really hurt the industry. In this case, Cartoon Network, who never released another movie in theaters again. Well, there is an Adventure Time movie coming out, but I'm putting those into the same arena as the Teen Titans and Samurai Jack movies that never came out. It's a wait and see thing. Another problem is the movie came out the same weekend as Men in Black 2 on a holiday weekend. It has been a while since we've seen Agents J and K. And we've seen the Powerpuff Girls all the time on TV. So of course we're going to see the movie with the characters that we haven't seen for a while. No matter how subpar Men in Black 2 was. Now, does the Powerpuff Girls movie deserve to be in the 10th worst spot? No. It's a good telling of the girls in Mojo Jojo's origin story. It's something that we are introduced to at the beginning of every episode of the series. And if you watch the series, you will know Mojo's involvement in the creation of the girls. It's quite enjoyable and kept my attention throughout the movie. At times, it does feel like an extended episode of the show, but not all the time. In fact, the movie feels grander, but also darker than the series. I do wish there were more lighthearted moments with the girls and the professor throughout the movie, because the time that we do get to spend with them together are wonderful. If there was one part that bored me, it was the game of tag. It just drug on forever. I know it was to highlight the girls' restrictive powers, and to get the citizens of Townsville to turn against the girls for the first time out of what, 10? They turn against the girls a lot in the series. Or am I thinking Word Girl? I might be thinking Word Girl, but the game of tag really could have been cut down. And now an honorable mention, in no particular order. The Care Bears movie. Now the honorable mentions are just films that didn't make the top or bottom 10. I remember this movie fondly as a kid. Watching it now, I realize I had no taste as a kid. I might not have taste now. The plot with the evil spellbook never made any sense. I mean, what exactly was the goal here? Well, the Care Bears themselves never really made sense. They were like,
everybody needs to be happy all the time, and being mad and sad are wrong.
And then they start pestering kids and adults who don't see their point of view. Thank goodness for Inside Out, who understands that other emotions like being sad and angry are just as important as being cheerful. But really, what does stop caring mean? That is really vague. The problem is, I enjoyed this movie somewhat. Well, the parts with the evil book and Nicholas. And perhaps the introduction of the Care Bear cousins. It did do well enough to warrant 2 sequels, but this was kind of the top of the mountain for the Care Bears. By the way, was this animation dubbed by Deke? There is a heck of a lot of animation errors in this movie. Oh, and the trailer has the most boring announcer ever.
Share in the fun and excitement as the Care Bears explore intriguing new lands full of music, laughter and merriment, and heartwarming feelings.
Actually perfect for insomnia. The number 10 best performing continuation movie of a cartoon series on television. You know what? You guys should know what the idea is by now. Rugrats Go Wild. Yeah, get used to the words Paramount being used in these videos. Rugrats Go Wild kind of marks the end of an era for Nickelodeon. You see, Nicktoons was meant to be original concepts that you normally wouldn't see on Saturday mornings. They were edgier, deeper, and had substance. Then SpongeBob happened. A new guard and a new style came to be, and the older stuff began to get phased out. Rugrats Go Wild was kind of a farewell for the old guard, even though these 2 series lasted 1 more year. And it's in the number 10 spot for the best performing cartoon movie. But it's kind of a sour send-off. The movie centered around the Rugrats group going on vacation, and they meet the wild Thornberrys. The first thing we will realize is Stu Pickles is a horrible father who doesn't understand vacations. Oh sure, who wants to relax on a cruise when we can place our children in mortal peril? Truly, Rugrats is a blueprint for good parenting. The Rugrats flock ends up deserted on an island, and the parents are mad at Stu. And the babies go off to find the Thornberrys, who they assumed are on the island. Wait, why am I telling you the movie? Go watch it yourself! The movie isn't that great. It feels like an extended crossover episode of Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys. Not feeling all that grand for some reason. There are songs, but compared to the first 2 Rugrats movies, they are awful. And it has been a while since I've watched Rugrats, but what is the point of Kimmy and Dill? We have the leader, a Brad, a scaredy cat, Angelica's counter, and the comic reliefs. Kimmy and Dill are just there. Now, I can understand Dill being used as a device for Tommy as an older brother, but Kimmy has no personality in this movie. It's as if the writers had no idea what to do with her. I know the theme is supposed to be spending time with the family and getting away from work. The theme doesn't work for Rugrats since the people in the families are together all the time in the show. I guess it works for the Wild Thornberrys, but then again, they too are together all the time in the show. I just wish there was more to this movie than what was presented. We get the obvious pairings of Debbie and Angelica and Eliza and Spike. And who is the celebrity voice playing Spike? I don't care. It's Bruce Willis, and he gets a song. And Bruce Willis voicing Spike is the selling point of the movie, and it was made too big of a deal. It's actually also the best part of the movie. However, it could have been anyone in this role. The amnesia stuff with Nigel Thornberry is predictable and very cringy. I do like the whole Lil becoming a vegetarian and forcing Phil to become one against his will. That's very current. I think the movie was trying to make a statement here. Like, all vegetarians are pushy? Maybe I'm looking too far between the lines? The original Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys had charm in both of their TV shows and individual movies. In this movie, that charm is lost almost immediately. Unlike their past movies, nothing new was added, and the only thing I took away from this movie is Stu Pickles an irresponsible idiot who deserves worse than what he got. Seriously, no amount of tinkering or saving the day can erase that he is the reason why the babies were in danger. In all honesty, none of the Rugrats parents should have had kids at all. That and Dr. Lipschitz is a hack. That is what I got out of this movie. It is not surprising that it is at number 10. I wasn't entertained, and both the Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys had run its course at this point. It might have only done this well because its competition was only Dumb and Dumberer. I wish this movie was better. It had potential, but in the end, it was nothing special, which is surprising for a crossover. This might be the reason why all of Nickelodeon's and all of Cartoon Network's crossovers from this point on were only made for TV movies. Another reason why this movie might not have done too well is it may have come out way too soon after the 9th top performing movie on this list.